the sight of snow, and the sight of summer are different in the same place.
We got the whole thing. We've got people coming up here in their sandals to people coming up here with their crampons.
Kokanee Glacier is quite spectacular, fairly extensive glacier.
Do they ski down that glacier in wintertime?
It's one of the best summertime skiing gigs too.
Yeah, plenty of decent snow, no problem.
But that's not the only thing the park has to offer, certainly.
We've got 30 lakes in this park, and about 18 of them are stocked with Yellowstone cutthroat.
The expanse of Kokanee Glacier Park was set aside in the 1920s as one of British Columbia's first provincial parks.
It's really breathtaking scenery, and the beauty of it is that it's really accessible.
It's a place where early day miners preceded the present, leaving a legacy on the land.
The miners gave us the gift of putting these trails in here. When they hit good galena with silver, that was, they would stick around. There wasn't a lot of real major worthwhile mines in the park, but there was a lot of activity. We've got 2 cabins that we currently use right now for overnight accommodation. They're still there, they're relics of the past. And that adds another flavor to the park for sure.
It's deep and fluffy.
Whipped cream, I think.
Perfect for skiing.
Hi, I'm Romeyn in British Columbia's Kokanee Glacier Park. Stay with us as we discover these beautiful mountains and their human history in Kokanee cabins and explore a series adventure in Romeyn's domain. We're a mere shadow, coming and going, as the mountainside stands still. Our presence is passing. Beside glaciers, moving centimeters with the centuries.
That peak sticking up to the left of the ice field, to the snow field there, is the top of the haystack, Gray's Peak. Commonly seen on the Kokanee Glacier Pier.
We're on our way to the Silver Spray Cabin. It's perched high in the alpine, tucked in behind the protective front of a glacial knob.
The cabin was built in the 1920s for the miners that worked the Violent Mine site just up ahead here.
We'll use it as a jumping-off point for a trailless trek, traversing a broad stretch of this spectacular parkland. Kokanee Glacier Park is laid out in the southern Selkirk Mountains to the north of the city of Nelson. It covers over 70,000 acres on the map. We'll come to know some of them on this trip.
It was magnificent to see the diverse ground that is here.
Well, it's a great flight. Let's head over to the cabin here and warm up a minute before we head out on the traverse.
All right.
It's got a nice little wood heater in it, so we'll go in there and get our pinkies back together here.
It's a brilliant morning with the feel of fall in the air.
A little bit of frost last night.
Sun on the cabin.
Park Rangers Kathy Grierson, Dave Heggie, and Kirk Shave will be our guides.
Looks like there's been some people here overnight.
Anybody home?
Anyone home? I smell coffee. I smell pancakes. I think I needed breakfast this morning.
Yeah, I smell bacon going.
Swell stock. And it's not the miners' food either.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, 1920s wouldn't hold very well.
The overnighters must be out on a day hike.
How many people are staying in, Kath?
Looks like 2.
Comfy cozy.
So it looks like you can sleep 4 in here.
Yeah, or 8 if you've got a couple of cozy couples.
We'll settle in for a short stay getting comfortable with this cabin filled with character.
I hope the coffee isn't as old as that coffee pot is, Kath. And a lot of stuff that we have here for the visitors to use is left over thanks to the miners. People can come in and experience almost what it would be like to live as a miner at the turn of the century. The old sharpening things, the original axes are often still here, pots and pans. Got a couple of the old tools of the trade here. Everything those guys did, they did on site. They cut the old larch down for their framework here and split larch into shakes for the outside walls. Picked everything by hand. All the mines were actually cut with hand steel. They had no gas or pneumatic tools up here. These are hard-working people.
The route basically traverses...
An old map on the cabin wall shows the work cut out for us to get where we're going tonight.
And over the last ridge and into the Woodbury cabin.
We'll soon be miles away.
Heading out on the traverse. Another tasty cup of coffee from Silver Spray. See you later, old cabin.
It's good to know time will be kind to the cabin till we come again.
We'll probably see a 100th year birthday on this cabin. Nature's really doing it for us. It's quite a dry site, and wind scouring keeps the snow right away from the cabin, so we're pretty lucky that way. What a golden day.
The memory of the creaky cabin is still fresh in our minds when we come to a view that stops us still.
There's Woodbury getting all bald and shiny.
Pretty icy.
Yeah. We don't need ropes or ice axes on this route. We're not crossing any ice fields, but we certainly need good compass and map reading skills.
It's about 4 miles from Silver Spray to the Woodbury cabin.
Ooh-wee.
We pick and choose the easiest path, generally contouring along the 7,000-foot level.
Certainly good to go out with people who've done the route before.
We're getting pretty close to midway on the traverse here.
This is like a little protected garden in here. The needles are still hanging in, and the towhead baby seeds are still hanging on.
It is a special spot for those who love the larch tree.
When they go from the springtime with that vibrant green to the fall with this golden yellow, to me it just really makes the alpine delicious. Look at this old skeleton here. Something's dug out this animal's den.
It's definitely been dug out by a grizzly, and he's been going after some extra protein.
Well, they're starting to probably get ready to get towards denning. And if they can bulk up with any last-minute berries or mammals that they can get a hold of to get some last fat reserves up, they're a better chance for getting through the winter. We've got grizzlies here that we feel are almost genetically used to human beings. We've never had a bear incident in the park, and people are learning to act smart in bear country.
Woo! Now that's refreshing.
Wow, this is what we've been waiting for.
Lunchtime.
Yeah, this is choice.
Oh, lunch was great.
Talk about a fabulous spot, too.
It was nice to give the legs a rest.
Yeah, look at this ancient guardian here.
Shadows are growing steadily longer, so we stride on toward the setting sun.
Hopefully catch a nice sunset on the Sawtooth.
All that's left to do now is to drop down to the Woodbury cabin.
I almost made it earlier in one fell somersault. keep reading.
How about this one? I think, said Christopher Robin, that we ought to eat all of our provisions now so we won't have so much to carry.
Check out the size of those huckleberries. A little bit for the frying pan, a little bit for you.
Climb the mountains and get their good tidings. Nature's peace will flow into you as sunshine flows into trees. The winds will blow their own freshness into you in storms, their energy, and cares will drop off like autumn leaves.
We're at Woodbury Hut, up in Woodbury Basin, across from Woodbury Glacier.
I like to do readings in the morning because it gets me inspired for the day ahead.
All right.
When the morning freshness has been replaced by the weariness of midday, it is then that you must not hesitate.
So if we head up over around this ridge here, we can go over that little notch in the sawtooth.
It's short and steep, a side trip with a great scenic reward.
We'll get an excellent view of Kokanee Glacier.
I think it's just a very healthy environment. You're outside, you're breathing clean, fresh air, you're exercising, you're making your body, your muscles, your heart work.
Ooh, all right. Looks good up here, you guys.
And at the same time, the environment that you're in, you're soaking it in, your eyes, your ears, all your senses become very much alive.
Yeah, makes me feel small up here.
It's really a fantastic view.
Mm-hmm.
So we spend a few more moments
I love these gargoyles.
with the creatures carved of rock,
All jagged all the way along.
Wow.
knowing they'll see winter
Yeah.
before we do.
I had a great time. Thank you all.
We're at the Slocan Chief Cabin. We are, what are we?
Ranger Rick. Ranger Rick and the Ravons.
Yeah, Ranger Rick and the Ravons.
I think maybe a more suitable name might have been Cocosaurus.
Faced with the choice of playing now and skiing later, they're doing what all great musicians would do.
That's a lot of hard work, but it's nice to get out and enjoy the scenery.
We're getting up to where we can get a good view of these peaks up here.
It's a place few people will ever visit.
How's it look?
In a season devoted to skiing the tough choices.
I think the snow is nicer over here.
Who gets first drop? Kind of flip.
I don't know, it's hard to decide one place over another. Each place is magic in its own way.
Well, that's a good shot of the ski tracks going down there, eh?
Virtually everyone coming to ski Kokanee Glacier Park comes by helicopter.
Well, it should be good skiing for the group this week, Kevin. Almost 6 inches of fresh snow. New powder.
Following a big storm track, you know, there's 3 or 4 days of instability and we have to watch things fairly closely that we don't get ourselves into mischief, but then it generally sets up and bonds real well.
We'll have our descent now.
It's just a terrific area for ski touring.
The word got out a long time ago. A lottery system is now used to determine the fortunate few who land here every Saturday for a week in the White Wilderness.
So the helicopter just brought in Kevin and Kirk and Steve, who are gonna take care of things up here for a few days.
Holy.
Kevin Giles oversees the park's winter program.
A serious sort of drop away here. There's an avalanche. Avalanche. There it is. There it is, straight ahead. Straight ahead. It's really quite awesome here when we get the big storm tracks and it starts snowing at a rate of 2 or 3 centimeters an hour. This Sawtooth Range just avalanches steady, and it sounds like great roar of a jet airplane going overhead. It's just phenomenal.
Visiting skiers are basically on their own, though rangers provide daily snow stability reports and guidance on where to ski.
Oh, it's quite dry down here, just a short ways.
When the snowpack is solid, a wonderful world awaits.
It's steep enough that telemarkers and mountaineering types ski tours can get up and have a real good ski.
Mighty fine.
Yet it's not too steep that folks can't manage it. You can go in a different direction every day of the week, and most folks are here for 7 days of the week. One day they could go up to the top of the glacier, ski down the backside, up this ramp here, and back to the Slocan Chief Cabin. Another day they might ski up to the top of the glacier and then down via the battleship and the pyramid. Another day possibly over into Griffin Creek and off into Glory Basin. Perhaps another day, another direction altogether, and up Outlook Creek and onto the top of Outlook Mountain.
There was a tired man living in the city. He weren't wearing no skis. There was a tired man living in the city. He weren't wearing no skis. He said, all I need, I do believe, is a week at Kokanee, at Kokanee. And so he drove himself down to Nelson, and he bought himself some skis. Yeah, he drove himself down to Nelson, and he bought himself some skis. Yeah, he got into the helicopter, now he's in powder up to his knees, up to his knees. Yeah, I said he drove himself down to Nelson, and he bought himself some skis. Yeah, he drove himself down to Nelson, and he bought himself some skis. And he got into the helicopter, now he's in powder up to his knees, up to his knees.
One must pass beneath the pyramid on the path to see the height of summer.
It's just amazing. Everywhere you look, it's just a sea of purple.
Kathy Grierson is taking us to a most magnificent garden spot on the glacial moraine.
Wow, this is just an incredible covering of alpine fireweed. It's just so abundant everywhere. It's growing in rock crevices, along the stream banks, and it just really seems to thrive in this alpine environment. It'll last for a week or so. It's just incredible.
Our time, too, is short here, as we're off to see the snowfield that feeds the flowers.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Up the glacial steps we go, alongside a most imposing rock.
The battleship. Yeah, pretty awesome, eh? It's so rugged and up and down, they call it the battleship.
It's a place carved by ice into shape and form.
These are like snow sculptures.
A place the glacier once stood.
You can really see its work at hand here. It's just so smooth and slick as it just scoured the rock.
The view is all about. And from this high vantage point, you can gaze out toward the popular parts of the park.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's worth the hike just to come up here, but got the new rod for my birthday, so I had to try it out.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Kokanee Lake, on the edge of the Alpine, is a day hiker's delight. Only a few miles from the end of the road, It's the park's top destination.
Let's stop for lunch, y'all.
Beyond the lake, the trail leads adventurous travelers toward the summer snowfields and to nearby meadows filled with the essence of summer.
Towhead babies, paintbrush. It's one of the most abundant and beautiful flowers in the alpine meadows. So full of life, so full of color, and they're very vibrant and alive. Sea of Indian paintbrush.
It's only a short distance up the trail from Kokanee Meadows to the center of the park and its human history.
This is the Slocan Chief cabin. Welcome to it. This cabin was built in 1896 for the Smugglers Mining Company of Slocan City to house the workers that worked in the Smugglers Mine that was, some 500 feet above here. This is quite popular in the summer, especially when the weather isn't so good and people who are going to camp, they like the refuge of the cabin itself.
There's no one looking out from the sheltered side of the cabin, so we'll get up and go.
I hope it stands for a long time.
Heading up toward the spot where the miners work their summers away.
Yeah, a lot of people who come up to the Slocan Chief will venture up here either in the evening or in the morning before they have to leave, and it's a nice trip to make. Leave your heavy packs at the bottom and just take your day hike stuff up to the top with you. Here we are at the site of the old stable where they housed the horses that hauled the ore out of the mines and down to be smeltered. You could lose yourself up here for hours, and with the essence of the old remnants of the buildings and the collapsed mine shafts and all their tailings, it's quite a beautiful spot to get a panoramic view and a good feeling for what people used to do 100 years ago.
We can only wonder if the miners had time to savor alpine sights like the Sapphire Lakes. Ranger Jody Renson joins us as we retrace part of the miners' scenic pack route.
I used to come up and over Lemon Pass here, past the Sapphire Lakes, and drop down Lemon Creek. Quite an incredible journey, eh?
Ours has been that too. We've been amply rewarded for our efforts exploring Kokanee Glacier Park.
Not only do you discover new country, but I think you discover a lot about yourself too. In every area you go, with the diversity and the mystery of it is sort of challenging and good spiritually.